ಗುಡ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ 2ನೇ ದಿನದ ಕಾರ್ಯಾಗಾರ. ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಾಗಾರ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಲಲಿತ ಕಲಾ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಯ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಖುಷಿ ವಿಚಾರ. ಬರೀ ಕಾರ್ಯಾಗಾರದ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಒಬ್ಬರ ಕಲಾವಿದರ ಪರಿಚಯ, ಅವರ ಕಲಾಕೃತಿಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಸಮಕಾಲೀನ ಗ್ರಾಫಿಕ್ ಕಲಾಕೃತಿಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಬೆಳಕನ್ನ ಚೆಲ್ಲುವಂಥ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಲೈಟಾಗಿ ಒಂದು PPT ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ನು. ಶಿವಾಜಿ ಶೇಟ್ ಮೂಲತಃ ಗೋವಾದವರು. ಅವರು ಶಾಂತಿನಿಕೇತನಲ್ಲಿ MFA ಮುಗಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಡಿಗ್ರಿನ ಗೋವಾದಲ್ಲೇ ಮುಗಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಶಾಂತಿನಿಕೇತನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು PhD ಸಹ ಕೌನ್ಸ ಇಯರ್ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ 2007ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು PhDನ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು 1-2 ಕಂಪ್ನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ನಂತರ ಅವರು ಗೋವಾದಲ್ಲಿ RJ ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಜಾಕಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಂತರ ಗೋವಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಫೇಮಸ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಾಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಚಿತ್ರಕಲಾ ಪರಿಷತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ ಸದ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಗ್ರಾಫಿಕ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನ HOD ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಶ್ರೀಯುತರು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಲಲಿತ ಕಲಾ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿ ಹಾಗೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯ ಅವರ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಕರೆಗೆ ಹೋಗೊಟ್ಟು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಶಿವಾಜಿ ಶೇಟ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಜೋರ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ನಾನು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಾವು ಕಲಾವಿದರು ಮಾತು ಕಡಿಮೆ, ಕಲಾಕೃತಿಗಳ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಅಭಿವ್ಯಕ್ತಿನ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅವ್ರ ಭಾಷೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಮು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷು ಮತ್ತು ಹಿಂದಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾವು PPT ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಏನೋ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆದರೆ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನೇ ಕೇಳಿ, ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ನಾನು ಮೈಕ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಸಮಯ ವ್ಯರ್ಥ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಮಕ್ಕಳ.
Well, good evening friends. First of all, I would like to thank Karnataka Lalit Kala Academy as well as my friend Narasimha Murthy for giving me this opportunity to present my works in front of you. As I've seen, the moment I entered, I've seen the students are working, they're very silent, very cool and very seriously. See, when you're working, there must be a joyous mood, always you have to create when you're working. And printmaking is a very serious medium. Okay, so this medium having a very strict disciplines which we have to follow. So before I start with printmaking, I'll start with my small introduction, and I'm also willing to give. So I did my graduation, bachelor's degree in fine arts from Goa College of Art, 1999. Then I did my post-graduation from Kala Bhavana Vishwa Bharati University, Shantiniketan. Then I've been awarded with Junior Research Fellowship for 2 years. Then after finishing that, I work on projects. Then again I've been awarded with the Junior Research Fellowship for my another projects. One by the Human Resource, the another by the Director of Art and Culture, New Delhi. Then I started with working with various projects. I work in Bangalore as well. So working in various projects, I've also been work in the companies. So after my Junior Research Fellowship, I started working for as well as in Bangalore for the ANZ International and the sister company Black Pearl as art director in Pune industry area. I used to exhibit and I used to draw and do the designing for all the interiors and the exteriors for the company. As well, I used to exhibit my works. In that time period also I used to do my works, because we can't leave the works, because unless you draw, unless you do the compositions, you represent yourself, because artists should keeps on doing your works. आपको काम करते रहना पड़ेगा. अगर आपका स्टॉप हो गया, कहीं पे स्टॉप हो गया, तो आपको बेचैनी होनी चाहिए कि मैंने काम नहीं किया, आज मेरा काम रुक गया है, काम करना पड़ेगा आपको. सो इस तरह से जहाँ से मैंने ANZ में काम किया, बेंगलोर में काम किया, तो वहाँ से मैं कुछ सिचुएशन ऐसे बने मुझे वापस गोवा जाना पड़ा. सो आई स्टार्टेड वर्किंग एज ए विजिटिंग लेक्चरर फॉर स्कूल ऑफ ड्रामा विद द सेट डिजाइनिंग इन कला अकेडमी. साइमल्टेनियसली मैं सवेरे अर्ली इन द मॉर्निंग आई यूज्ड टू वर्क एज RJ. सवेरे 4:30 बजे निकलता था, 5:45 को ट्यूनर आता था रेडियो का, आपको पता होगा जो ट्यून्स आता है. सो आई यूज्ड टू वर्क फ्रॉम मॉर्निंग 4:45 टू टिल 11, फर्स्ट ड्यूटी एज एन RJ फॉर द ऑल इंडिया रेडियो, प्रसार भारती, FM रेनबो, विविध भारती एंड द लोकल चैनल्स. एंड देयर यू यूज्ड टू हैव डिफरेंट लैंग्वेज. हिंदी भी बोलना पड़ेगा आपको, मराठी भी बोलना पड़ेगा, कोंकणी भी है, आपको कॉन्स्टेंटली उस पर शिफ्ट करना पड़ेगा. फेडर पे आपको ध्यान देना पड़ेगा. फिर लाइव प्रोग्राम होते हैं आधा घंटे के लिए, हाफ एन आवर्स, हेलो फरमाइश, यू हैव टू टेक द कॉल्स एंड सी दिस इज वन पार्ट. देन आफ्टर फिनिशिंग दैट आई यूज्ड टू गो फॉर द थिएटर. आई यूज्ड टू वर्क इन द थिएटर. I used to work in the dramas, Marathi section, Hindi section, English sections. I used to do practice, participate in the dramas, and then I reach as home around 9-10. Then I starts my working again on the canvases, again the prints. See schedule, why I'm telling, you should keeps on working, keep you intact. This mind should goes on working. इसके बावजूद, ये होने के बाद भी I concentrated on exhibiting my works. यहाँ पे मैं जो ओवरलाइन दे रहा हूँ मेरा जो इसका, जैसे थिएटर के बाद मैं परफॉर्मेंस में ही रहा. आई यूज्ड टू रिप्रेजेंट गोवन ट्रेडिशनल फोक डांसेस, वीरभद्रा, देन घोड़े मोडनी मीन्स पपेट हॉर्स, घोड़े मोडनी, okay, और था धनगर डांस, शेफर्ड्स. सो इन दिस there's certain cultural groups where I used to travel with them, but this is a work experience for me where I can make use of it in my works. In some places I can use those objects, those images, those forms to represent on the canvases, on the papers and the different mediums. Now this is next. As I said, I am also into the research, exploring the different temples. Why temples? Because I am being of a village, a small village surrounded by river, island. I came from that small village where I used to see the different culture, different rituals. बहुत सारी विधि होती थी, बहुत सारे प्रेजेंटेशन होते थे. तो उसको कैसे मैं रिप्रेजेंट में ला सकता हूँ, कैसे मैं उसको कैनवस पे कर सकता हूँ. देवी का रूप है, एक देवी का रूप है, एक मंदिर में रूप है, तो उसको किस तरह से उसका पावर जो है, यूनिवर्सल पावर, उसको रिप्रेजेंट कर सकता है. ऐसे बहुत सारे बातें हैं. सो आई यूज्ड टू रिसर्च ऑन दिस. सो वर्क इन्वॉल्व विद पेंटिंग, प्रिंट मेकिंग, स्कल्पचर्स, यूज्ड टू डू स्कल्पचर्स, यूज्ड टू डू म्यूरल्स आल्सो. सो डिफरेंट मीडियम, आर्टिस्ट कैन वर्क इन अनलिमिटेड एरियाज. That's keep thing in mind. So when I started with that when I came, the students are working on it, print making. But do you know what is print making? क्या आप जानते हैं print making क्या है? मैकेनिकल बुक ऑफ प्रिंट मेकिंग कहाँ से शुरू हुआ, कब शुरू हुआ, क्या आप जानते हैं? हाँ है, हाँ, ना है तो ना बोलो. If you know, raise your hands. If you don't know, stay silent. Do you know मैकेनिकल बुक ऑफ प्रिंटिंग when it started? पहला बुक का प्रिंटिंग हुआ इंडिया में. So what is print making? Okay, I'll start. That's why the Murthy has told me, give a brief outline. Visual arts, right? This is not the theory class, huh? Be relaxed. Divided fine arts, right? You know what is fine art? Drawing, writing, drawing, everything creative is fine arts, right? Simple way. This further divided. You should know this. Commercial, non-commercial. Illustrative, This is illustrative and that is non-illustrative, right? फाइन आर्ट्स के अंदर ये दो चीज़ें आती है, एक है कॉमर्शियल और एक नॉन कॉमर्शियल, डिवाइड हो रहा है यहाँ पे, जिसको बोलते हैं इलस्ट्रेटिव, इसको बोलते हैं नॉन इलस्ट्रेटिव। अभी कॉमर्शियल में क्या आ रहा है? ऑडियो विजुअल्स, फोटोग्राफी, illustrations. I'm just giving this idea, details. Films. Okay, and in this, painting, printmaking, sculpture, ceramics, textiles, and others. सिंपल। यहाँ पे जैसे इसका डिवीजन ऐसे हुआ है, यहाँ पे कॉमर्शियल हम इसलिए बोलते हैं कि these are works only for the business part. You are bound to work for that industry or that institutions for that in limited time. But here you are free. You are a painter. You are going to become a painter. You are becoming a printmaker. You are becoming a sculptor. You are becoming ceramics. You are becoming an artist here. But when it's come to printmaking, I'll take just 2 minutes. When it's come to printmaking, or graphic art. Graphic is a word derived from the Latin graphics, graphicos, which later summative has graphics, G-R-E-P-H-I-C-S, and then in English it becomes graphics, means writing and drawing. Art, as you know, is a writing or drawing, but when it's joined or combined, it becomes a creative way of presenting the art, the beauty, aesthetically. Okay, so printmaking is simple way transfer the image from one surface to another. Now what the linocut, what you are doing is your master blocks. Okay, and when you are doing a work on it and you are taking out the prints, that means your work is completed, you have rolled the ink, you have put the paper and you have taken out the prints. Those transfer from one surface, एक surface से आप दूसरे surface पे जा रहे हो. So addition of prints, multiple of prints you are taking from the master blocks. So similarly you can take so many prints, addition prints from one master blocks. Okay, so this master block is very important preparation, whether it's wood block, whether it's linocut or any acrylic sheets or stone. This becomes your master blocks, from where you are taking the multiple prints, you are taking the multiple images. For that is very important as an artist, or you are going to become an artist. Sketching part is very important for you peoples. Drawing is very important. Understanding and observation is very important. And if you do all this, then comes the composition part, where you assemble all the forms, images in a compositions. So important part is sketching, drawing, and then comes the composition. Okay, for you when you are preparing these blocks. Now when this mechanical book of printing started, or the first book printed in India, in 1556, September 16, the Portuguese has brought the two presses, imported two presses from Lisbon to Goa, and the first book printed, पहला बुक जो प्रिंट हुआ है उसका नाम हुआ Conclusas Ecoisas Utras, which is written in Portuguese. Why they have started the books? Because Portuguese ruled the Goa for almost 500 years. So within that time period, Jesus missionaries, they have used this book, mechanical printed book, to propagate the Christianity. The पहला book जो mechanical book printing जो हुआ, वो है कॉन्क्लूसावस एकोइसास सूत्रास. Why? To propagate, प्रचार करने के लिए, धर्म का प्रचार करने के लिए. तो सिमिलरली इस तरह से बहुत सारे प्रिंटिंग बुक होते रहे. उसका अभी भी जो बुक्स है वो गोवा में डायरेक्टर ऑफ आर्ट एंड कल्चर के आर्काइव्स में है. When anybody can see that, all the pages and all, and with illustration, they are printed with small illustration. Now you are doing the works on the lino. Similarly, they have done on wood block. And those presses which they have imported, all those are wooden presses. Now it's in a very deteriorating stage. But the books which are printed from that time onwards, from the 15th century, okay, there are so many books been printed. Similarly, then in Calcutta, they have Batala prints, means wood block prints also. So they have done vast amount of printing during that period, 16th century and 17th century. There are so many British also, artists also they have printed. So why I have given the just outline? Because printmaking is such a area where there is a vast scope for an artist to go with a single medium. So now in printmaking, there are so many mediums, and there are specifically two processes, wet process and dry process. In wet process, you will see the etching, intaglio, then viscosity process, all this comes in the wet process. Why wet process and why dry process? Wet means जो plate acid में डुबाते हैं बाइट करने के लिए ड्राइंग के बाद उसको वेट प्रोसेस बोलता है. नाइट्रिक एसिड में फॉर द बाइट जो भी लाइन आप ड्रॉ कर रहे थे जिंक प्लेट्स पे, जो लाइन ड्रॉ करने के बाद उसको फिक्स करने के लिए यू हैव टू ड्रॉप द प्लेट इन द एसिड, not concentrated but dilute acid with a certain proportion. So it's called a wet process. Whereas the dry process, what you are doing is a planography. It's a dry process. It's acrylic sheets. Whenever you are working on acrylic sheets, like a dry point is a dry process. Okay. So there are these two processes which we are basically dealing with this. So similarly in printmaking, there are woodcut, intaglio, etching, then the viscosity process, planography, seal screen, which you call as serigraphy, and there are so other processes are there. So I have given just a brief outline so to get the idea. Okay, there are lots of things I can say about the printmaking, but I will come with my now for shifting my this thing to my PPT presentations. Yes, start. Go ahead. This is the published where I got the first doctorate in fine arts in Goa in 2017. I have been awarded with my doctorate in 2017. I started 2012 my PhD on the subjects of Raja Ravi Verma's oleographs, which was as Raja Ravi Verma started the printing of oleographs. Why? Because he wants his image, the images which he has done of Lord Ganesh, Saraswati, it should reach to the masses. It should reach to the houses in each and person. Otherwise, those painting, he is an academic trained, he is a master, but his paintings been displayed only in the royal palaces. Nobody, a single person at that time can enter and see those paintings. Those paintings are such big paintings are there. So what he has thought that in order to reach his works in small format to each and every house, he started the printing of calendar. So those calendar which has started is in the graphic forms, means on lithograph. Now as you are doing on this linoleum, similarly you are doing the lithography works, black and white color images, but in oleographs there are multiple colors you can take and multiple prints you can do. And he has made that best use of that, and he set up the press in Ghatkopar, and he started multiple prints of colors. Then the same press has been shifted to Maravali. So this is my entire research, where I approached to the so many places, excavated and executed all these works, researching Raja Ravivarma's extensive oleographs and in details all the subjects and other areas. So my PhD is extensively on Raja Ravivarma's oleograph, which I has completed in 2017, awarded. So I'm the first Goan who was awarded PhD in Fine Arts in Graphic Art. The next. So I'm just going with the catalog, some of the catalogs. This is the present exhibition. Yesterday is over in Cincinnati, curated by Sat Gosan. Go next. This is the first show in 2000. No, this is the fourth show in 2018. Go ahead. Go ahead. This is the catalog. I'll go with the work first. Go ahead. Yeah. Start. Next. Okay, these are the viscosity process. I started during my bachelor's degree, I started working on the different series of works. First started with the womb series and man and woman relationship. I used to do the extensive sketching and drawing to work on it, referring the books and working on that, the birth of a child, how it's taking the birth of a child, then how the universe is related with it, how the forces are related with it. So that series, I started with the womb series, and I have tried to draw all the lines, all the intricate lines and the compositions on the zinc plates, and this is in the form of viscosity. The next. This is the lithographs, where I tried to present the Buddha, towards the peace, the war situation when it started in Israel and Palestinian, and that situation is so, you see the images which is coming to us. So in that, to represent the peace, I work, this is a very big print which I work on the different forms with the different small captions. So this is the work done on a lithograph, and similarly the linograph has been added, linoprints has been added with the flowers to represent the symbolic to the Buddha. Next. This is one of the works which I used to work for my junior research fellowship, which is on Kama Sutra, related with the Kama Sutra. The next. This is when I'm working on a series called Puppets, where as you've seen the puppet show, so but here I am representing the society, representing the faces of the man's, women's, and the pretending faces of the society. This work I have represented in lithography, combining with woodcut. This is a viscosity process, where I have represented tried to represent in the simplest way the harvest, how the farmers gives his full hard works during the entire process of farming. So you can represent the way you can, but you should show the depth, the lines. Now this is, I think, maybe because of, as we see the image on the laptop is so much sharp, here maybe because of it looks little bit blur. Next. These are the series of the woman. This is a colograph print, where representing the woman in the simplest form, in the abstract, semi-abstract form. Next. This is one of the important series which I used to work from 1992. It's called Womb series. The birth of a child and the relation of the birth, or that force, the immediate force, which takes the shapes and which gives a birth, which takes, and then that power comes in that small child. So it's equally related with the universal power, not just because of the interrelationship between the man and woman. It has equally the universal strength exerting on it. Yes. This is a normal subjects balcony. It's just a part of a gossip. But where here I am treating with some of the working with the techniques of aqua tint. This gossip. This is a woman represented on the colograph through colograph. This is a multiple plate. Altogether 6 plates are there, where I am experimenting with the different plates, how I can represent the work with that same subject, with that same series, and all together you can see three pieces and composed on it, and another 2 plates are already reprinted on it. Next, this is a series of viscosity, where I used to work with various forms, various images, and experimenting on the viscosity process, because trying to get that all the reliefs kinds of structure on it. This is Gate of Paradise. The title of the work is Gate of Paradise. Next. This is one of the contradictory works which I did. The child and the faces of the society represented on the right and the left. And yes, so these are with the various textures I have tried to represent on this, along with the figures, forms, and I did this with aqua tint, the line works, the gum bite. See, there are various the treatments which we can use in the works, in the zinc plates. Next. This is a simple collagraphs representing the death, how I can go this simplified my works, simplify my forms. This is a series of the man and woman relationship. These are the same series of that viscosity of the man and woman interrelationship. These are some of the textures which I have tried to create on the block through the colography medium of the same series. This works is done on lithographs. This is black and white series, which has the earlier one. The title is Germinations. While working with the man and woman relationship only, and it's represented like this. Next, this is a colography. Next. The working with different textures on the blocks and creating by pasting different materials, and how you can create one image and make it so much impressive. आप किस तरह से एक ब्लॉक पे अलग अलग तरीके का टेक्सचर्स, अलग अलग तरीके का मटेरियल पेस्ट करके उसको किस तरह से इफेक्टिव बना सकते हो, किस तरह से उसको क्रिएटिव बना सकते हो, किस तरह से उसको सृजनशील बना सकते हो, ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. देयर इज नो सच कॉल्ड गुड एंड बैड इन आवर फील्ड. Okay, so you have to, whatever you are doing is a creative things. Whatever you are doing, आप जो कर रहे हो क्रिएटिव है, सृजनशील है, लेकिन उसको किस तरह से आप ढालना चाहते हैं, किस तरह से आप करना चाहते हैं, ये आपके ऊपर निर्भर करता है. नेक्स्ट, दिस इज वन ऑफ द लिथोग्राफ्स. दिस इज वन ऑफ द कोलोग्राफी वर्क्स. दिस इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द लिथोग्राफ्स. नेक्स्ट, कोलोग्राफ. Go on. This is one of the etching, color etching, which I used to work with the different experimentations, with different techniques. Next. This is series, a window series of the man and woman relationship. देखो, आप अगर काम शुरू किया है तो उसको बीच में नहीं छोड़ना. एक सीरीज आप काम कर रहे हो, उस पर कंटिन्यूस काम कर रहे हैं. जैसे जैसे आप काम करते जाओगे, आपका थॉट प्रोसेस आगे बढ़ता जाएगा, आपके बहुत सारे आइडियाज़ आपके माइंड में आना शुरू हो जाएगा. सो इफ़ यू आर कंटिन्यूस दैट प्रोसेस, इट शुड नॉट स्टॉप, कंटिन्यूस होना चाहिए. तो उसको रिप्रेजेंट भी करना पड़ेगा, मीडियम कौन सा भी हो, चाहे वो पेंटिंग हो, प्रिंट मेकिंग हो, प्लेट हो, वुड ब्लॉक हो, आपको कंटिन्यूसली उस पर रिप्रेजेंट करते रहना पड़ेगा. नेक्स्ट, this is the same series of the window. I have just brought all this. Next, this is mother and child. Next, there are lots of works, but I have selected few. This is one of the festivals of Goa, represented on very small plate, 8 by 10. Next. These are just creative presentation on the plates of different textures and imaginations. Next. This is black and white line works of mother and child. Next. This I'm working on the earlier one, working on the death series. As you see the situations when a person dies from the family, so how you are going to represent the shades of that sorrow. We know to represent some of the joy, but when you are coming to this sorrow, how you are going to represent it, the dark shades. So I will try to represent it. Next. This is a train journey which I used to experience when I used to travel from Goa to Bombay and Bombay to Howrah. And every time when you are not getting sometimes reservation, and then I'm talking about 1999-2000, we have to run and we have to see the situation, then you have to adjust in between. ट्रेन के बीचों बीच कहीं पे सीट नहीं मिल रहा है आपको, वेटिंग लिस्ट पे है, फिर भी आप घुसे REC मिला है तो आपको एडजस्ट करना पड़ेगा. लेकिन जो व्यू आर्टिस्ट देख सकता है, आप देख सकते हो, वो लोग कॉमन मैन नहीं देख सकते. तो आप किस एंगल से आप रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हो किसी भी सिचुएशंस को या व्यूज़ को, ये आपके ऊपर निर्भर करता है. नेक्स्ट. दिस इज डिजाइंस. दिस इज एक्वाटिन प्रोसेस. These are some of the lithographs. This is a viscosity process where the interaction, the subject itself interaction. This is some of the tush ink which I practice on the lithographs. Tush ink is very a kind of chemical or the material which you use on the stones. Sometimes it works, sometimes doesn't work. Sometimes it depends on the temperature also. As you know, in lithography we use 3 stones: yellow, white and gray. But when we are treating on the stones in different weather conditions, it gives you different results also. So I used to work with that textural qualities. Next. This is one of the womb series, the first work of the done on zinc plate. This is a very big plate. The birth of the child along with the textural qualities, universal force, and I tried to play with so many colors with the rollers. Because in viscosity, beside the master blocks, master plate, we used to work on several colors with the rollers. There are 3 types of rollers which we use in viscosity. Some of them I think you are knowing, some of them not knowing as you are the students. So on the hard, medium and the soft. This is a combination of lithography with the linoleum medium. This is a woman represented in a viscosity process. This is a the title of the work is contradict. One part is love, one part is hatred. So the trying to represent all those the subjects through the lines, through the textures, and through the images, through the forms. The nature and she, the woman I have represented. This is the plate where I extensively work only on the depressions. All the lines, all the forms, the earlier ones, all the forms which I have represented just to represent the depression parts. The lines, whenever you are in a depression or in a depressed mood, you can't see the flying birds, flying things, something like this, fresh colors. There is something going on in your mind which makes you depressed, and how you can represent the depressions. So I have tried to represent it. This is a wood block. There are 2, one of the series, the opposite forces, X forces. This is a creator. The title of the work is a creator. It's done on zinc plate, viscosity through viscosity process. And these are some of the natural elements which I used to observe. And wherever whether it's a pond, कहीं पे आप देख रहे हो, दिख रहा है आपको ponds में दिखा है, जो अलग अलग छोटे छोटे फॉर्म्स है, किस तरह इसको डेवलप कर सकते हैं, आप इमेजिन कर सकते हो और रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं. These are the collagraphs. I'll go for the painting. These are the ponds. These are all the collagraphs which I used to work on different subjects, different themes, experimenting. The faces, the mask which we used to see, they represented through collagraphs. This is the series of seal which I used to work when I used to visit during my research of PhD. I've seen lots of seals, ancient seals inscribed in the stones, inscribed on the plates. So I started with one of the such series. This is the collograph. It's repeated. Next. Yeah. This is etching. This is one of the viscosity. Wait, earlier one? No. Yes. This one is engraving. This process is a dry process where we are working on zinc plate without acid. Direct drawing on the plate, direct contact with the plates, direct lines on the plates. But that lines, how you can make it more effective, the forceful lines, the sensitive lines, the intricate lines, how you are going to work on it is artist. The way you are practicing, the way you are doing regular sketching, the way you are imagining, it's all upon you, depends upon you. So this is one of the dry process which I am talking about. It's a dry point, the work's done in a dry point. Next. This is one of the experimentation part which I used to combine some of the images on lithographs, and these images are transferred through xylene chemical, not drawn on the stones, but it has been composed on the paper and it's been transferred through the xylene chemical directly on the stone, then it's been printed. This is one of the big woodcut where I used to work on especially one subjects on force. So this is a minute detail works which has been awarded for 4 times for 4 many places, for 4 exhibitions, 4 competitions. It's not so clear because of this little bit blur image. This is a collograph. These are the windows which I have to work on the women's series. Go ahead. These are the collagraphs. Yes, go ahead. So we'll go for the quick drawings. These are the big drawings which I used to work with different black and white inks, Contis, and pencils, black pencils. Next, this is these earlier ones. So I working on the hypnotism and that symbolic forms which I have tried to create in monstrous forms. Next. And while working with this series, I got to get the experience of the dark and light, shades, the forceful, the lines, black and white tones. Next, X-forces. This working I'm on Adam and you. Next. This is the lithographs. This is some of the sculpture I did in metal and rag, some of the commission sculptures. These are the Tushink experimentation. These are the drawings. Next. Okay, this is a series of painting, and the canvases size are almost 4 feet by 4 feet, 6 feet by 8 feet. This is completely a Devi series. As I used to work for the temples, I used to be in some of the elements of which you see in the temples. I used to work on it. I am also the president of one of the temple in Goa. So during my period, I have seen so many things which changes in the inside Garbhagruha, sanctorum, the force which we see. If you are more ritualistic, you can experience it. If you are more meditating every day, you can experience it. As I have experienced so many things, magical things also during my period. So when I used to see in the morning time in the sanctorum or the Garbhagriha, when I come in front of the Devi, so the temple where I am the president of that particular temple, the Garbha is the pot and the mask is placed on it with the water inside, filled water and the small coin, copper coins. Devi, whenever been decorated with the saris or the dresses, before that, early in the morning, when the sunlight enters, you see the face is different. The power, as if you will see some kind of power on the face, some kind. And if you see the same face in the evening time or the afternoon time, it's different. So when I used to start working on it, when I used to see, जब मैंने उसको देखना शुरू किया, जानना, I used to get some kind of a power I have seen, experience, ऐसे महसूस होने लगा. So I started working on it, and that time I started with a series called Devi series, which I exhibited almost 37 canvases in the year 2009. This is the entire series of the goddess, and that there's all those forms. These are the offerings to the goddess in the temples. This is the strength of the goddess which I represented, which according to my imaginations, visualization. This is the mural with the top part is the murals which I have done for the one of the government office. The down part, this is a painting done in acrylic. These two paintings is a commission works which right now is the Hardwood Studio. Is a very big work paintings, 10 feet by 4 feet and 10 feet by 6 feet. Now with the Hardwood Studio in USA, उनके पास है जो कमीशन वर्क था. एक था प्रकृति नीचे वाला और ऊपर वाला था माया. Next, this when I'm working with the puppet series, and this is a watercolor wash techniques, and this is the subject itself is Abhimanyu Vada. The watercolor technique जो इसमें है वो पूरा wash techniques है जिसमें उसके ऊपर मैं काम कर रहा था. Next, the Devi series. This is one of the canvas which I represented of Buddha, the power and meditation. This is Purusha and Prakriti. This is Dictator, the canvas, the painting on canvas. Next, this is also a painting. Next slides. Next. This is one of the work which I did for 75th celebration of Amrit Mahotsava in Goa. This contemporary Goan artist has participated in this, all these works. Next. So this is I have worked with a kind of series, but before that, all kinds of series. I used to prepare myself for the different sketches, for the compositions, and unless I am fully satisfied with my own study, the way the work is progressing, then I'll start with the canvas, then I'll start with the printmaking. So my work, when I start with the sketching, I start with the drawing, I start with the compositions. So this is a very important part where you have to do regularly. You have to practice regularly. If you are working in painting or printmaking in any other media. Besides this, working in this field as is in art field, I work as a social activist because as my father is a freedom fighter and social worker, I am also has got that something in me. So I used to fight for the injustice, For the corruption part, I did the revolutions, I did this agitation since Goa for quite a long time, from 2014 till 2022, for the fighting for the corruption of Goa College of Art, fighting for the corruption of GPSC, fighting for the children of freedom fighters for their rights. So if you willing to work in different mediums, different fields, you can, but the important part is time. How you are going to allot the times, how you are going to work. And if you are specifically working on only one field, trying to make your professional field, so it's very important time, how to plan, how to organize yourself. If you are organizing, planning your time, your timetable for your works, then you have been successful in the field. But you have to stick with the works, you have to stick with the planning, and you have to work. Go ahead. Okay. So with this, my presentations, I would like to thank Karnataka Lalit Kala Academy for giving me this opportunity. And one more thing I would like to say, as Narasimha Murthy has told me, that this camp is specially for the a kind of SC/ST. Honorable President, as you know, you might have read about her, द्रौपदी मुर्मू मैडम, किस तरह से उसका जीवन शुरू हुआ था बचपन में, लेबर वर्क करके किस तरह से उसने अपनी शुरुआत की थी। एजुकेशन करने के लिए उसके लिए बहुत प्रॉब्लम था। किसी ने नहीं सोचा था कि शी इज़ गोइंग टू बी द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया। तो जिस तरह से आज वो जिस स्थान पे हैं एज अ प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया, is remarkable and is inspiring for all of us. Aaj she has made such a platform for everyone, I say specifically SC and ST, and she has also started with so many schemes and so many programs. Okay, so you should take that opportunity, to grab that opportunity to make it fruitful for you. It's very important. Even then, there are lots of scholarships schemes has been declared by the governments. Some are not knowing, even the artists are not knowing. Our times is very less, but nowadays there are so many scholarship schemes are there. But you should know that scholarship in detail for the artists especially, and for your parts you should know in deep first. Go understand it and try to take that opportunity as an artist, to become as an artist. Thank you very much.